Grinding all my life, sacrifice, hustle paid the price. Want a slice, got to roll the dice. That's why all my life I've been grinding all my life. Look, all my life, been grinding all my life. Sacrifice, hustle paid the price. Want a slice, got to roll the dice. That's why all my life I've been grinding all my life. Look.
The news is out. You're an all-star. You've been waiting. How you feel?
Excited. You know, this is really Team LeBron.
What up, what up, what up, what up? Welcome to the Ball Dnt Lie podcast. This is your boy Dexter, your host, the one and only. Welcome back to the show. I'm glad to have you guys back because there's a lot of stuff that's brewing on the NBA. We just talked about the whole Blake Griffin situation, about how that stuff came to fruition, how he became a Net. Kind of broke down some things about how he's going to play with the team and stuff like that. And obviously, who got mad? Obviously, about the whole Blake Griffin signing. So, obviously, if you want to check that out, just click the little thing on the top. You can see the last episode. And today, we're going to be talking about Andre Drummond. Before we get into that, if you're new listening to this channel, go ahead and subscribe, smash that like button, and hit that bell notification because every time I drop a video, you will get an update. And obviously, it pushes our content to the top. And I appreciate the love. And you can catch all of our shows or episodes on all streaming platforms, literally every single one. And if you want to follow me on the social media platform, I'm on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram at Ball Dnt Lie. That's BALLDNT LIE. So we're going to go ahead and just get into it as far as the whole Andre Drummond situation because that is brewing. I mean, that is sizzling hot. And I know Laker fans are in just dire need. They need somebody, right? I mean, who else do y'all want? I mean, y'all want the whole parking lot too? You want the whole damn state of California while you're at it? I mean, all I've been hearing since Blake got signed to the Nets is Laker fans saying, oh, he trash anyways. Oh, he ain't doing nothing. But prior to that, oh yeah, man, Blake with AD? Oh man, who's going to stop us? All of a sudden that energy switched up and changed. And I don't know what it is about Laker fans. It's like they want everything and the bag. It's like, God damn, like, what else you want to give to LeBron? I mean, LeBron wants everybody, but damn, y'all want the whole entire Nets organization too? You want KD too? But anyways, enough about that rant. And let's just get down to it. So Andre Drummond, his situation's kind of dicey. And I'm going to go ahead and play a clip in a few minutes about his situation that's been voiced by somebody. And I'll break that down to you guys in a few minutes. But his situation is, to me, out of hands. I think it's unacceptable. And it shouldn't be tolerated. And I think the NBA commissioner and the Player Association, like Chris Paul and Michelle Roberts, who's the exec as well, should obviously have, or when they do have an offseason, they should talk about it. They should talk about this whole situation because Andre Drummond hasn't played for like 2-3 weeks. Okay? And the dude is healthy. I remember him suiting up, doing the pregame shootouts, going to the locker room, putting on his actual uniform, coming out to the game and being told, you know what? You're going to sit down. Yes, why? They said, we're going to trade you. Okay. So he sits down, right? Dude's healthy. But it's been 3 weeks. And I don't want to go too deep into that, but that's out of pocket. If a team can do that to a player, why a player can't do that to himself? That's why I was happy for Blake Griffin. I know he's averaging 12 points in this past season with the Detroit Pistons, but you think that he was doing that was because of health? Yes, some of it is, but not like that. Blake played his card right, and that's why he got bought out. So Andre Drummond, for the Cavs to hold you out into the trade deadline, which is March 25th, and they had a couple of suitors for what I'm hearing. They had people that calling for sure because Andre's still young. He's 27 years old, and he can ball. I mean, like, his kind of game don't fit in this era. I mean, because you have Jokic that can stretch you out, right? And you have Embiid that can stretch you out. And you have Miles Turner that can stretch you out. And you can have such and such. I can go on, right? And there's few guys that are key cogs, like a Rudy Gobert, right? We're obviously really good. In some sense, it's a little bit better than Andre, but that's for you guys to argue and debate that. But there's only a few guys left in this league that can still play like 2010 kind of style. And that's Andre Drummond. Dude can get on the boards. Dude can block shots. But when it comes to offensive, yeah, he kind of gets egotistic about that. He wants his points. But he's a good player. He can give you, he's averaging, 17 and 12 or 13 this year before he got benched because they want to trade him, which is, to me, like I said, it's absurd. It's ridiculous. But I don't want to go on ranting about that because I'm going to let somebody speak that to you for you guys. And when Draymond Green came on the press conference and talked about Andre Drummond, about his situation and what he said it great to me. I mean, he said it wonderful to me. So I'm going to go ahead and play that clip for y'all and just hear his side of it, and then we'll go ahead and kick back to what we were talking about.
Watch Andre Drummond before the game sit on the sideline, then go to the back, and then come out in street clothes because a team is going to trade him is bull. Because when James Harden asked for a trade and essentially dogged it, I don't think there was no surprise or there's no one's going to fight back that James was dogging it his last days in Houston. But he was castrated for wanting to go to a different team, and everybody destroyed that man. And yet a team can come out and say, oh, we want to trade a guy, and then that guy is to go sit. And if he doesn't stay professional, then he's a cancer, and he's not good in someone's locker room, and he's the issue. And we've seen situations of Harrison Barnes getting pulled off the bench. DeMarcus Cousins finding out that he's traded in an interview after the All-Star game. And we continue to let this happen. But I got fined for stating my opinion of what I thought should happen with another player. But teams can come out and continue to say, oh, we're trading guys, we're not playing you. And yet we're to stay professional. At some point, as players, we need to be treated with the same respect and have the same rights that the team can have. Because as a player, you're the worst person in the world when you want a different situation. But a team can say they're trading you, and that man is to stay in shape. He is to stay professional. And if not, his career is on the line. At some point, this league has to protect the players from embarrassment like that. We talk all of this stuff about you can't do this, you can't say that publicly. If you say that publicly, you're fine. Anthony Davis got fined, I think, $100,000 or something like that for demanding a trade publicly. But you can say Andre Drummond is getting traded publicly, and we're looking to trade him publicly, and he's to stay professional and just deal with it. But then when Kyrie Irving say, oh, my mental health is off, everybody go crazy about that too. Do you not think that affects someone mentally? As much as we put into this game to be great, to come out here and be in shape, to produce for fans every single night, and most importantly, to help your team win, do you think that doesn't affect someone mentally? But as players, we're told to, no, you can't say that, you can't say this, but teams can. It goes along the same lines of when everyone wants to say, oh, man, that young guy can't figure it out. But no one wants to say the organization can't figure it out. At some point, the players must be respected in these situations, and it's ridiculous, and I'm sick of seeing it. Y'all have a great night. I'll see y'all tomorrow.
Yeah, so that's crazy. See what Draymond Green just said, right? Draymond Green from the Warriors, what he said was absolutely right, 100%. And I don't argue that. That's why he hasn't got fined for what he said, because he's speaking the truth. And if you find him for that, hell would have been broke loose in the league. LeBron James, everybody would have came out the woodwork like, what? You going to find us for this? Then players would obviously cause a commotion, right? Blah, blah, blah. But we're going to see what Andre says when he gets signed to a new team. We're going to see what he's really going to say, because right now he ain't saying nothing. He can't. When he gets to whatever destination he's going to get to in the coming weeks or sooner than that, I want to hear his side of the story. Let's go back to the whole Andre situation and the Andre Sweepstakes, because that's what it seems like right now, right? It seems like Andre Sweepstakes. Like, it's crazy right now. Like, the dude is buzzing since, like, Connecticut. Like, Andre wasn't that hot since then. Like, that's how much people in the league is trying to get dude. Dude is good. But teams have been calling. Teams have been offering. But the crazy thing about that is that what they're offering ain't pleasing. So far, the Cavs are going to hold Drummond out until March 25th. They're going to try to get the best package possible. If not, then they're going to just buy him out. It's that simple. Those are the only two solutions that's going to happen. So they're going to do everything in their power to get him shipped out and get something in return, or they're going to let him walk and they're going to do a buyout because they owe him $27, $28 million this year anyways, and they don't have that on the books. They try and clear some of that anyways. So it's like you can't understand what the Cavs are doing. That's why I feel bad for anyone who wants to play for the organization. If they did this to Andre Drummond, imagine you. And Andre, to me, is the best player on that team. I mean, Kevin Love is hurt, but outside of that, you have Sexton and all those other young guys, but Drummond is your best player on both sides. In a sense. Offensively, in a sense. Maybe defensively, but still, I can make a case for that. And his money, I mean, there's a lot, but he's going to be a free agent. He's going to be a free agent this summer in 2021. He's going to have opportunities to sign with somebody. I don't know what the contract market is going to be like for him because to get traded 2 times in the last year of your 2 years of your contract, that's an eye-opener. He got traded for a second-round pick from Detroit to the Cavs. A second-round pick. Detroit shipped him off for a second-round pick. And then the Cavs are trying to get something that's better than that? I don't think so. So the Cavs, my understanding and what I have looked into and what people in the NBA circle are talking about is that Andre Drummond, market value is a second-round pick. Hold on. You telling me an all-star like that is a second-round pick as far as a trade, and he's 27?
Bruh.
Run that back one more time.
Bruh.
That is crazy. It's like I said, it's insane. Andre Drummond is better than any bigs they have on that team. But obviously, they owe him a lot of money. And obviously, he's not going to sign. So they're trying to get something out of it. But anyways, so the Cavaliers, this is what I'm reading. The Cavaliers are seeking or asking for either a young player or a second-round pick, is which the Cavs have traded for him a season prior. A second-round pick from Detroit. And the Cavs being who they are. And obviously, LeBron James knows a lot about it. He talked about it. A lot of people found out about it. It's about how the Cavs run their organization. It's trash. So they're going to hold him out until March 25th, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, or 3 p.m. Eastern on March 25th. And if they can't get nothing out of Drummond's trade market value, then they will go ahead and do a player buyout. But this is the crazy part. Right, so I kind of summed up what's going to happen in the next few weeks. It can happen before that, or it can happen on the 25th, or it can happen right after that if he doesn't get traded. But here is the most interesting part about the whole entire puzzle about Andre Drummond. The Lakers already coming out through a couple sources whispering Andre's going to be a Laker. But I hear this about every single player that's available. I remember Klay Thompson, before he resigned his contract, Klay's going to be a Laker. I heard rumors about Damian Lillard's going to be being traded to the Portland Blazers. I heard about Kawhi Leonard going to the Lakers. I mean, you hear all this rant about every single player that's a free agent is going to go to La La Land. But this is probably the most spiciest one. I mean, yeah, we heard the LaMarcus Aldridge, he had a sit-in meeting with the Lakers, but decided to go with Coach Pop and the San Antonio Spurs, right? You know, you had other players. But coming to this kind of market that we're in right now, 2021, the buyout market or the trades or whatever players out there is available, Andre Drummond is your best player. Boogie Cousins, no. JaVale McGee, no. Hassan Whiteside, no. And whoever else after that, hell no. That ain't going to happen. If you the Lakers or you the Nets, this is who you're going to get. And you know what's crazy? They both have the money to do it. They have the player, they have the ability to sign Andre Drummond on a vet deal. The Nets can do that. They have one slot. And obviously, we were seeing what's going on in LA. They cut Quinn Cook just a couple weeks ago to free up this 15th spot on the roster to get who? Anybody. So they're waiting. And obviously, they signed Damian Jones, the center, to a 10-day contract just to fill in the time in the meantime. But he ain't going to be there. And obviously, the reason why they're trying to get a big so bad is because AD just collapsed. Injury-prone AD, who I've been saying, this guy can't stay healthy. And you should be more concerned about his hamstring. You're lucky that the playoffs ain't until like another couple more months. But the best stretch of games are going to happen from now until then. So we're going to see what happens with AD. But they signed Harrell, who cannot guard bigs. He can't guard a Joker. He can't guard an Embiid. He can't guard these bigs. And I like his energy. I like his passion. I like he works hard. But that ain't your answer. And you thought Marc Gasol was your answer? Think twice. Teams are looking at him as a way to attack your offense. Attack your defense. When they see Marc Gasol on the court, it don't matter who it is, they're going at him. He is the mismatch on the court. He is the guy you should be attacking. And as you can see, he ain't the same. He's playing on one leg. Offensively, he's here and there. But defensively, why do you think he doesn't play 25 minutes a game? He is a suspect on the court. Defensively, you have no anchor. The Dwight Howard and JaVale effect that happened a year ago is gone. You're missing some rim protection. Harrell don't block no shots. Marc Gasol don't block no shots like he used to. So, obviously, you're trying to get an Andre Drummond. And if it's not an Andre Drummond, then it's a Hassan Whiteside or a Boogie Cousins or JaVale McGee. I mean, obviously, Rob Pelinka has a lot of options to pick from because Boogie's available right now. JaVale might be bought out. Andre's definitely going to be bought out if he's not traded. In Hassan Whiteside's situation, he hadn't played the last 5-6 games in Sacramento. And he's not hurt. And he has no COVID issue, no contact tracing, nothing. So we're going to see what happens with all these bigs that's going to be available. But I can tell you this for sure, with no hesitation, that Andre Drummond will be a Laker or Brooklyn Net. And I put all my money on the Lakers. Yeah, I said it right now. Yep, I put it on the Lakers. I'll tell you why. Andre will definitely play heavy minutes on the Lakers team, despite Harrell. Harrell will still come off the bench. But I think Andre will play bigger minutes, a better role, and he'll play with a pure point. Meaning LeBron will break down the pick and roll, pop it to him, alley-oop, or whatever it is. He never really had a true point guard. LeBron will be his first. But if Andre goes to the Nets, I mean, his minutes might be okay, but he's going to be competing with DeAndre Jordan, which I think will be still a starter. But no one's going to be throwing alley-oops because they don't do that to DJ. So it's going to be like isolation, backdoor cuts, who's going to be hot, give me the ball, isolation, pick and rolls, pick and pops. That's what's going to happen, really. But with LeBron, he can kind of get you in the game. AD kind of stretch out from the paint. Drummond can work there by himself. And he can do the same thing, obviously, in Brooklyn, being a pain by himself. But it's going to be one of those two teams. And what's interesting about the Brooklyn Nets, and let me go ahead and pop this on the screen for you guys, for the ones that you can see, and the ones that you can't see, the ones that are on the audio route. Allen Robinson, the second, who plays for the Chicago, or who did play for the Chicago Bears, who's about to be a free agent, said this on Twitter. He said, and this is about the Drummond situation. He said, per sources, Andre Drummond will be signing with the Nets. They'll get some reinforcement on the defensive end in the glass. Look for them to still be active around the trade deadline. LOL. I don't know if it's trolling. To me, I can only understand a slight relationship between Allen Robinson II and Andre Drummond. Allen Robinson II being from Detroit. You know, he's from that area, grew up in Detroit. Drummond played there for like 8 years, 9 years, whatever it may be. They might have some type of relationship because he's always in Detroit. So maybe they met somehow. They probably crossed paths. Maybe they're homies. I don't know. But this is very odd for somebody at a thin air saying, yeah, I play in the NFL, but Drummond's going to go here. And Blake's going to go over there. And Boogie's going to go over here. So obviously, there's some type of connection going over here for sure. How much I read into it? Slim. Because I'll tell you why. There's no for sure that Drummond will sign with the Nets. Because if he had an option between two, he's going to decide between the two. It wasn't like a clear cut. But if he is right, and Drummond does sign with the Nets, Allen Robinson is our source. Yeah, I said he's our source because he said per sources. Ain't no per sources. Your source is you and whoever told you that, which is probably most likely Andre Drummond. But to me, what I expect Andre to be a Laker. LeBron has a couple years left. If Drummond can go there and win a chip right away for LA with AD and LeBron, obviously being the catalyst, right? Being the one that's not going to necessarily carry those guys, but they're going to carry him in a sense. But it can also spark a way of respect for him to probably get another legit shot at a contender as a free agent. Because if he goes to the Brooklyn's already stacked. The issue is Lakers. They got injuries going on over there. They got some old age. So they got to fix those things. And I think Rob Pelinka will do that. I think Rob Pelinka already hints that he's trying to get one of these bigs because he cut Quinn Cook, which was one of the hardest cuts he made because it came out of nowhere. He had to do it. Because he's looking at my signings ain't working out. Harrell is playing okay, but Marc Gasol is not. That's looking more like a dud. Going back, let's say sometime later this year, the season's over, we're going to look back and say Marc Gasol was a bad signing. But everybody was praising it. I was saying, why would you sign a guy who's on his last leg? I'd rather get Serge Ibaka. I'd rather get some other center. I'd rather get Hassan Whiteside or Boogie Cousins than Marc Gasol. But hey, I don't know what their intentions was. Maybe LeBron signed off to it. I don't know. But we'll see. And I will continue on this story about Andre Drummond. And we got more episodes to come with who else is going to be out there in free agency. Who else is going to get traded? Everybody's talking about P.J. Tucker. P.J. Tucker is going to get traded. He's going to be gone. He's not going to be in Houston past the 25th of March. So there's a lot of players that we can talk about, but I'm going to break it down to you as far as the hottest names, buyers, sellers, what teams are willing to buy, at what stake are they willing to give up as far as the buyers, and how much you think the teams that have those assets, like a PJ Tucker, how much are they really selling for a guy who's 36, 37 years old in the league? Is he the same player? We don't know. But he'd be a good fit on a contender. I'll tell you that right now. So there's a lot of names that's going to be going around the next couple of weeks. It's going to get sizzling. It's going to get hot. And I definitely will bring it to you guys right here. And I appreciate the love. Stay tuned. Make sure y'all go and check out, check out some more videos. Make sure y'all hit this like button at the bottom. Appreciate the love. Subscribe. All that good stuff. And I'll keep bringing some more videos for y'all coming in the future. I appreciate the love. Like I said, it's COVID. Y'all stay safe. Enjoy your time in this world. Until then, y'all have a good night. Peace.